Jimmy Uso denies helping Roman Reigns after Seth Rollins ambushes Jey Uso, loyalty tested. Welcome back to the channel, wrestling fans. Today's story is one filled with betrayal, brotherhood, and loyalty tested to the limits. What happens when family fractures, champions collide, and bonds built over decades begin to break? In this video, we dive deep into the shocking turn of events that unfolded on WWE SmackDown, when Jimmy Uso refused to help Roman Reigns deal with Seth Rollins, after Rollins brutally ambushed Jey Uso on Raw. What does this mean for the future of the Bloodline? And has Jimmy finally broken away from Roman once and for all? Strap in for an epic tale of power, revenge, and heartbreak. This is Jimmy Uso, no longer the loyal soldier. The fallout begins. The WWE Universe was still reeling from the shocking ambush on Jey Uso by Seth Rollins. It happened on the July 1st episode of Raw. Jey was moments away from victory in a six-man tag match when Rollins stormed down the ramp, blindsiding him with a steel chair. The attack was vicious, unexpected, and left Jey unconscious in the ring. Fans were stunned. Commentary went silent. Rollins, who had recently aligned himself with Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa in a twisted new faction, declared war on everything Jey Uso represented: freedom from bloodline control, standing tall without Roman Reigns, and being loved by the fans without bowing to anyone. But in the days that followed, the real drama began backstage. Roman demands action. SmackDown opened with Roman Reigns backstage, pacing furiously in his private locker room. Paul Heyman nervously followed him around, clutching his phone and checking updates on Jey's medical condition. Reigns was livid. This wasn't just about Rollins attacking Jey. It was about insulting Roman. "He put hands on blood, Paul," Roman yelled, throwing a chair against the wall. "That means war." The tribal chief wasted no time. He made a call to someone he hadn't spoken to in weeks. Jimmy Uso. After months of tension, silence, and separation, Roman called his cousin and said 5 words. "I need you. It's family." But Jimmy's response would shake the very foundation of everything the Bloodline had ever stood for. Jimmy Uso's refusal. Later in the night, Jimmy Uso arrived at the arena. Cameras followed him as he entered through the back, hood up, sunglasses on, refusing to speak to reporters. He made his way to Roman's locker room, the tension so thick it could be cut with a blade. Inside, Roman stood tall. Solo sat beside him silently. Paul Heyman looked relieved to see Jimmy, but that changed quickly. Roman stepped forward. "They attacked your brother, my cousin, our blood. I need you in the fight, Jimmy. Help me take down Rollins. Let's finish this together." Jimmy paused, looked Roman dead in the eye, then shook his head. "Nah, Us, I'm done fighting your battles." Why Jimmy said no. The crowd erupted with gasps backstage as word spread of Jimmy's refusal. In a sit-down interview exclusive to WWE.com later that night, Jimmy finally opened up. He explained why he walked away from the Bloodline, why he didn't want to be Roman's enforcer anymore, and why, even though Jey was his twin, he wouldn't be manipulated by Roman's calls to protect family. Jimmy said, "When I needed Roman, he turned his back on me. When Jey needed help at WrestleMania, he let him suffer. Now he wants my help because it benefits him. Nah, that ain't loyalty. That's control." He added that Jey needed to fight his own battles now. He would support his brother, but not under Roman's orders. The Bloodline had fractured, maybe permanently. Roman's fury unleashed. Roman didn't take the refusal lightly. Later that night on SmackDown, Roman came to the ring with Paul Heyman by his side. The crowd booed loudly as he raised the mic. "You don't say no to the tribal chief. You don't walk away from your family." He called Jimmy a coward, a traitor, someone who would let his own brother bleed in the ring without lifting a finger. But just as Roman was about to go too far, Solo Sikoa stepped forward and whispered something in his ear. Roman paused, then smiled. Whatever Solo said clearly planted a seed for revenge. Seth Rollins reacts. Meanwhile, Seth Rollins was interviewed backstage on Raw about Jimmy's refusal. He laughed. Jimmy finally sees the light. The puppets cut his strings. Rollins said this wasn't just about attacking Jey, it was about tearing down the Bloodline one member at a time. He dared Roman to retaliate. But then Rollins dropped a bombshell. I didn't attack Jey to hurt him. I attacked him to send a message to Roman. I can break your empire whenever I want. Jey Uso's condition. Medical updates confirmed that Jey Uso suffered a minor concussion and a shoulder sprain after the brutal chair shots from Rollins. He would be out of action for 2 weeks at least. Jimmy was seen visiting him in the hospital, in a moment caught by a fan and posted to social media. In the video, Jey told Jimmy, "Don't go back, Uso. Don't let Roman pull you in. Do this your way." The brothers clasped hands. Jimmy left the room with a new look of purpose in his eyes. Solo Sikoa's new target. Back on SmackDown, Solo Sikoa was dispatched by Roman Reigns to deal with Jimmy. Roman wasn't going to let Jimmy's refusal go unanswered. In the main event, Jimmy was scheduled for a singles match against Finn Balor. But before the bell rang, Solo attacked from behind, hitting Jimmy with a Samoan spike and slamming him through the announce table. Roman didn't even show up. He watched from the locker room, arms crossed, silent. The message was clear: you defy the Bloodline, you pay the price. Paul Heyman tries to mediate. In the following week, Paul Heyman tried to broker peace. He met with Jimmy privately on SmackDown, trying to appeal to his sense of family. Roman is hurt, Jimmy. He's your cousin. Seth is tearing us all apart. Come back into the fold. For Jey, for the family, for your legacy. Jimmy responded with 4 chilling words. That family's already dead. Heyman was stunned. Jimmy walked out, leaving Heyman visibly shaken for the first time in weeks. A new alliance forms. There were whispers backstage that Jimmy might be considering aligning with someone else. And on Raw, the camera panned to a surprising scene: Jimmy in the parking lot, talking to Cody Rhodes. No words were heard, just a handshake and a nod. Could this be the beginning of a new anti-Bloodline alliance? Cody, Jimmy, and Jey, against Roman, Solo, and Rollins. The WWE Universe exploded with theories. Roman threatens Cody Rhodes. Roman didn't take the Cody meeting lightly. On the next SmackDown, Roman cut a chilling promo in the ring. Cody Rhodes, you want to play hero. You think saving Jimmy earns you points. You don't save him, you sink with him. He warned Cody not to interfere again, or risk the wrath of a dynasty that built WWE. The war lines were being drawn, and the battlefield was expanding. Rollins plays both sides. In a twisted swerve, Seth Rollins began teasing tension with Solo Sikoa. On Raw, he told Heyman, "Solo's good, too good. You sure he'll stay under Roman's thumb?" This planted seeds of doubt. Could Seth be manipulating the Bloodline from within? Or was he simply buying time while the group slowly imploded? No one knew, but it was clear that Seth wasn't done playing mind games. Jey Uso returns. 2 weeks later, Jey Uso made a surprise return. He stormed into the ring on Raw, interrupting a match between Rollins and Sami Zayn. Steel chair in hand, Jey unloaded on Seth Rollins, chasing him up the ramp. Then he grabbed a mic and said, "You picked the wrong twin." But what followed shocked everyone even more. Jey looked into the camera and said, "I got my brother's back. But Roman, I ain't coming home." WrestleMania-like showdown teased, with Jimmy and Jey united, but not returning to Roman, and Cody circling the conflict. WWE teased a massive main event for SummerSlam. Cody Rhodes, Jimmy and Jey Uso vs. Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa and Seth Rollins. The crowd erupted in anticipation. Could this be the match to finally end the Bloodline's reign? Final showdown. SmackDown closed that week with a face-off. Jimmy, Jey, and Cody stood in the ring. Roman, Solo, and Seth stood on the ramp. No words were exchanged, just 6 warriors staring each other down, surrounded by smoke and flashing lights. War was coming, and Jimmy Uso's defiance had sparked the fire. So, where does that leave us? Jimmy Uso refused to be Roman's soldier. Jey returned but won't bow to the tribal chief. Cody's stepping in, and Seth Rollins is playing puppet master. The Bloodline is on the verge of collapse. And it all started with one refusal. Jimmy Uso said no, not just to Roman, but to everything the Bloodline ever stood for. What happens next? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. The war for WWE's soul has begun. If you enjoyed this deep dive into WWE's latest drama, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another update. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Whose side are you on? Jimmy or Roman? Rollins or Cody? Let us know.